I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay.
Little update on our intro.
Yeah,
I dig it.
it's pretty cool. We have a mixer board here that we're messing around with. We're loading music, all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. We have to program all the buttons. We can do all kinds of crazy sounds. I really don't want to do that, but I do want to have a cool intro song.
It's a great intro song, but even the other buttons, we're gonna have to have a PR bell.
Right. Savon's podcast, he just starts talking. Well, no, he does.
He does. Bam, we're live.
Oh, I wasn't ever gonna say that. Like, I didn't want to steal. Like, Savon's gonna send me a cease and desist.
I was gonna wear his the Santa Cruz shirt.
Oh yeah,
save that for another time.
We will. So podcast, this one is live now on PRsAllDay's page, although I'm not seeing it. I don't know where I would even see it on there.
We're still figuring this one out.
But are we technically live?
We are live
on PRsAllDay's page. And then we're also live in the Diablo members group, I believe. And then
we'll find out afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We are live. I see it. Okay, I got it on
Facebook.
Yeah. No, I got it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So someone went in there and left us a comment. We could see the comments. I just got to make sure I shut down the volume on my speaker.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, I do it. And I can see where there's comments too, which is kind of cool. So, all right. So I got us on there. I see it. We're in the same room, by the way. And we did this wrong. Can you flip flop the screens? I noticed you have. So can you put me on the other side of the screen? You know what I mean?
Like that? Oh, I didn't save my thing.
There you go. And now, yes. So that way, if I look, no,
it's not weird to you.
Well, I don't know. So what I'm trying to do is make it so that when I look, because Jamie and I are in the same room, we have two cameras, and so. You know, it looks like we're in two different places, but we're not. But I want to make it look like we're actually in the same room when we're using two cameras. We like using two cameras because if you draw the camera back, the third camera back, it just looks weird and you see too much shit.
It'll make sense when we have a third guest on.
Right. Well,
yeah. A third person.
Whoever that third person, maybe who's going to be our first guest? I don't know.
Well, we got to figure out these bugs first.
We actually have to get an audience to make it enticing for someone to want to go. All right. So today I've got notes. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about virtuosity versus intensity. Again, we're going to follow the format of my emails that I send out every week. Use that as our guideline. We may or may not actually touch everything, or even, if we got something that's more important we want to talk about, we'll talk about that. But for the most part, we'll do that. Then we'll talk about the Go Ruck stuff. My conversations with Go Ruck, which are really cool.
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, they want to be a part of it. I'll tell you I'll tell everybody how that kind of came about, because it was somewhat coincident. Well, it was a result of a contact through CrossFit. And then we'll talk a little bit about programming this week, because there's some neat stuff in there. And one of the things I want to ask you about related to the barbell cycling. And then we'll go over a couple of cool things and stuff I'm reading and seeing, stuff to look for on the internet that we find are interesting. We'll leave you with kind of a final thought. First of all, the first subject, virtuosity versus intensity. This came about for a couple of reasons. The reason why I put it in my email was for a couple of reasons. Primarily because we had a benchmark workout last week, Green Machine, and coaches expressed some frustration with range of motion, technique amongst our members who are keenly interested, as we drive them to be, in intensity and a high score on the leaderboard. And asking me what's most important, and members that also asking that question. And then I also saw and really the thing that, and I wasn't going to say anything about it in my email, just because it can be a long, difficult conversation, hot topic. And it's been a hot topic within CrossFit as well. But then there was a post by a well-known CrossFit.
Been around a while.
Yeah, someone's been around a while, and he's level 3, Pat Barber. I'm just going to go ahead and say his name. And it's not that I disagree with what he said, and I kind of don't like what he said
in regards to pushing the line
of
competition versus in the gym.
Competition versus in the gym.
Yeah.
Pat is very much about virtuosity in the gym.
He is
very important.
100%.
But when he was competing, he indicated that, that his goal was to push the edge of the limit with respect to range of motion, in order to move faster, and I think he used these words, trick the judge into giving him credit for reps that that may or may not have been full range of motion or virtuous, if you will. And we've never taken that approach.
No.
Never verbalized it. I disagree with it. It may be, in fact, what some athletes do, but I think there's a large number of CrossFit athletes who are more interested in leaving no doubt, because that's always what we've said to our athletes. Never give the judge a reason to no rep you. It's full range of motion. And then the satisfaction that comes with, winning a workout or placing high on the leaderboard, while at the same time having incredible range of motion or awesome range of motion, sets an example for the community also, but gives you a great sense of satisfaction, right?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand where he's coming from as far as like in competition sense. You want to shorten the range of motion as much as you can, but personally, I mean, having competed in, the games on the team and throughout the open, and even just competing against myself, you practice the way you play in the gym. You're training for virtuosity, and you're training for quality. And that should reflect towards your competition. Shorting your range of motion, with whether you're bouncing, ass to grass off the ground in a wall ball, or if you have the ability to shorten that distance, which kind of maybe increases your stretch reflex and a faster cycle rate, but still your intention is leave no doubt, right? Hit your depth, hit your range of motion, get a good rep. Because at the same time, if you start out with good reps and you try to push it later on, you get caught with a no repper here and there. That's going to end up backfiring anyways.
Right. Absolutely. What's important in our gym, and I put this in the email, is you've emphasized this quality of movement is super important to us because it translates to everyday life.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than throwing out your back, making the bed.
Nope.
Right. God, no. Or lifting up a toddler. Yeah. Right. Or reaching into the oven to get
living
something.
Life. Hurting yourself, just living life.
Right. And working on, I mean, really, functional movements are done in a correct manner, right? Give you a better quality of life and prevent injury.
Yep.
So, in the gym, that's what we're trying to do. 99% of us here in this gym are training for just better life, to live a longer, healthier life.
Yeah.
And so that range of motion is super important.
And when you said, range of motion is good, but like you said, moving for quality, right? Like you could have all the range of motion in the world, but if your knees are buckling in or your feet are collapsing down, you're not moving with quality,
or you're not bracing,
not organized. All that stuff, that's the stuff that's going to keep you healthy and safe outside of the gym, not just inside the gym, but that's how you're training your body to stabilize and how it's going to function in your functional daily things that you're working on.
I think in regarding the competition side of things, one of the best movers in all of CrossFit it still is Rich Froning. And I remember watching him at one of the open announcement workouts in Santa Cruz. You remember that?
Oh, the thrusters.
Yeah, with the thrusters
and pull-ups.
Yeah, thrusters and pull-ups. And I'll never forget, it stuck in my mind as to how well he moved, how efficient his movement was. He wasn't trying to trick the judge or shorten the range of motion, sneak anything by. His was quality movement all the way throughout. It was just incredibly efficient. Coming up from the burpee, no steps. Like he would come up from his burpee, be at the bar, and jump over the bar.
Yeah.
Right. And his thrusters were, and he had the ability to, he maintained a consistent pace all the way throughout. He didn't start out fast or start out slow.
It's like the first rep looks like the last rep.
The first rep looked like the last rep, and at the same speed all the way throughout the entire workout. And he literally mowed down people that had left ahead of him. Sam Briggs, remember, she'd gone out quick.
This is one in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Santa
This
Cruz.
is all the champions. They had Annie Thorsdottir there.
I think
Khalipa. Yeah, I remember that.
And several of them had gone out hot.
Yes.
Graham Holmberg, and he literally just mowed him down.
Yep. With good mechanics,
incredible mechanics.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there's good quality mechanics will create efficiencies that allow you to, over time, move better
and have a better capacity.
Oh yeah, that's right. Increase your capacity. That's actually a better way to say it.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's
not trying to short reps and to move faster.
Not to short reps to move faster, especially in a class setting, you know. And like, this is one of the things that Pat was really adamant about was, you know, in the gym, train with Virtuosity. And I think that the big thing there is, you know, even when you are doing a workout and if you see somebody in the corner not getting the full range of motion, or don't worry about it.
Right.
You are running your own race. You are doing your training. You're here for yourself.
Right.
If you're worried about what somebody else is doing next to you that it doesn't have a judge and there's nothing else on the line. Like, I mean, sure, there's some bragging rights, and, you know, we do our best to stop the, you know, bad patterns, or, you know, catch anybody that might be shorting reps, whether it's accidentally or intentionally. But that's just all part of accountability, right?
Yes.
Like, you're holding somebody accountable so they can be better, whether they're trying to compete in the open or just trying to compete for themselves. Because if you're not moving with good mechanics and good, you know, range of motion, how are you going to measure for consistency? I mean, force times distance divided by time. That's how we are measuring our power output. If we're shortening the range of motion, we're affecting that distance, right? It's not, you're throwing a whole formula off.
Yeah. So that's right. Yeah. And the next time you do the workout, you might
go faster.
You might decide, hey, I want, you know, I've really been working on my range of motion. Can't figure out why you're going slower. Well,
because it's actually RX.
and here's the other thing. I like that. Stay in your lane. So put the blinders on, ignore other people. And ask the coach.
Yeah.
Like, how did I move?
Yeah. Or if the coach comes to you and say, hey, you need to get a little lower, then you probably need to get a little lower.
Yeah, they probably noticed it a while back.
Yeah. They're helping you out.
Yeah. Coaches do not want to hurt members' feelings. We're trying to create the best hour of the day for you.
Yep.
And sometimes we see the look on your face. We recognize we better not say anything today.
Yeah. There's times where I'll pass.
Right.
But as long as they're safe too. Right. Because I mean, like, sometimes shorting range of motion can put you in a compromised position. Right. And as a coach, like, that is our job to keep you safe. Right. Like, hey, you need to go lower because otherwise your knees are going to get blown out. Or if there's a problem with the knee, then let's figure out another solution to work around it. That's all part of the communication with the coach.
And that's why emotional intelligence is so important as a coach too, because we walk a fine line. Look, you don't want to piss off our members. You know, we don't be up in your shit every single day. Yeah. What we want to do is give you the right cues at the right time so that, you know, you'll move better
and make progress.
Yeah. But I will tell you that when we look around the room and we're looking at who impresses us, the people that impresses, and you ask any of our coaches, the people that will impress the coaches are the ones that are with the best movement patterns.
Yeah. Consistently.
Yeah. Consistently.
Those
are the ones where we're like,
for sure. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to worry about safety. You know, they're getting a great workout. And if they do that and do exceptionally well, now you got someone that you're talking to about joining RX Plus on Saturday.
Exactly. Then you got a new recruit.
Yeah. All right, cool. So
Virtuosity.
Virtuosity. So form matters.
Yes.
Next, the next thing I wanted to talk about today was the Ruck stuff. So CrossFit reached out to me about a month ago to ask me about, or my thoughts on an idea that they had for creating an event, kind of a Turkey Trot CrossFit event, Ruck event, that would be that, and the way it was put to me was the day after Thanksgiving, like, try and get the community, get everybody in the community behind it as a, kind of a big event. In the
Kind of like
US.
an open setup,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, kind of an open setting.
Anybody,
Not competing, but just, hey, let's do this.
Mhm.
And I love the idea because Diablo for 15 years has been doing
exactly that.
exactly that, an unofficial turkey trot. And then I like the idea of a ruck because it's like a nice twist to what we're doing. And Jamie and I, and actually the last, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years, Jamie's kind of been taking the reins on the turkey.
We used to go back and forth depending on if I was in town for Thanksgiving.
That's right. But he's kind of taking the reins on setting it up and then policing it, the course and everything else, designing the workout, and having the component of a ruck makes it's fun. It's kind of a nice twist, right? It's a nice transition so I got excited about it. And then they notified me about 2 weeks ago, CrossFit notified me about 2 weeks ago that they're going to table the idea until next year, just because that, with the new CEO and all the stuff that's going on, they just don't have the resources right now to the bandwidth to deal with it. That's fine. So I asked him hey, do you guys mind if I take the reins on it and do it at Diablo and then try and push it out to the community? They said, absolutely not, go for it. And now I'm starting to, here we are. Well, but now I'm starting to get suspicious. Was that their intention all along?
Hey, we got this great idea. You want to take the lead on it?
We want to get your opinion on this great idea. Oh, hey, you want to run with it? Anyway, so we're doing it. And I reached out to my friend, Jimmy Letchford, and Jimmy Letchford is the chief growth officer at Ruck. He was the former head of marketing at CrossFit. That's how I know him. And he was and he was an affiliate owner.
Got it.
So he and I have known each other, and he's out of Santa Cruz. Great, just a great dude. And by virtue of his success at Ruck, and now I have a great contact at Ruck. And so he said, yeah, absolutely. We're in, we love the idea. And I actually started thinking about it. I'm like, well, how has someone not thought of this sooner? Because it's a cool idea.
It is really, I mean, once you brought it up and mentioned it to me, I was like, it's just the creative juices of what we do in the turkey trot just exploded.
Yeah, it's like so easy for everyone to do it, right? So, and it's an easy idea for the Ruck guys to get behind as well. So I don't know what the partnership is gonna look like right now. What I aspire to get is some sort of discount. And they're open to this as discounts for our members to get a Ruck backpack so that they can use it in the event. And then PRsAllDay, which is cool, is PRsAllDay is going to create several turkey trot variations, each one with RX scaled and then RX plus version of it, so that PRsAllDay affiliates that are using our programming can run their own turkey trot. But then hopefully we'll get that out to the CrossFit community, and we'll give everybody the idea. It's not hard. No. That's what's great about the turkey trot.
No, it's super fun. And for anybody that, out there that, maybe hasn't been a part of one of our turkey trots, is, it's anywhere between 2 to 3 miles.
Right.
We use it in open space, and we do a little warm up before we get started, and then 3, 2, 1, go. As you go through the course, there's, maybe a couple movements spread along the way to act as like an obstacle. But it kind of brings that CrossFit-esque feel versus just going for a run. And we set it up to where we have like 2 tracks, right? We called it the stroller track, or the RX and the scaled, and the stroller track is essentially the scaled. So, if you got kids, it's a great time to come and be a part of the community and not feel pressured to like do the hard, intense stuff.
Most CrossFit affiliates close on Thanksgiving Day. And here's an opportunity to bring your community together on a special holiday, your family, your gym family together, without having to open the gym, bring your staff in, coach, set up the gym. Like you go to a park, you can do it out of your gym if you want, but there's no and then therefore there's no equipment, because all you're doing is going out for a hike or in this case a ruck. But what's cool is they bring and we invite them, bring family and friends, and a lot of people have family and friends in town. They bring them,
grandparents, even everybody comes out.
Everybody comes out,
kids, dogs, and it's such a fun experience. And what I really enjoy about that is the setup process,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, I really appreciate getting to the park when it's dark and enjoy the sunrise when it's nice and peaceful and quiet. But at the same
Right.
time, it's like I get to think about like, okay, this is where we're going to have them do this lunge, or this is where we're going to do these squats. And it's kind of a fun from a coaching or a programming perspective. It's gratifying.
Yeah. So it's the experience is worth it. It brings your community together. It introduces your gym to friends and family of your members. It's an opportunity to bring back old members who, because we get a lot of our past members that love to come to it too.
They still show up. It's great
because it's something to do on Thanksgiving Day to get your body moving before you consume all those calories.
To do it afterwards is questionable.
Right. I know. So it's a lot of fun anyway. So we're going to team up with the Go Ruck guys. You'll hear more information about it.
More to come.
More to come. I posted in our blog post for today. And I'm looking forward to announcing it. We'll put it on all the social medias as soon as we have any discounts available. And I would suggest let's get, since we got time, let's talk about rucking just in general. And loaded carries and maybe how to prep for, because I've been rucking now for about 3 weeks now.
Okay.
About 3 days a week. And I posted, by the way, in my email, a podcast with Peter Attia. Peter Attia is not his most recent, but his last week's podcast that he interviewed Michael Easter, the guy that wrote Comfort Crisis. And in it, they have a whole section. They have a whole section on rucking and the value of rucking. But loaded carries have been a challenge of mine in the past. And
really, didn't you win the games with the farmer carry?
Yeah, farmer. Yeah, well, okay, I take that back. Right, so farmer carry is awesome. Yeah, okay. Right. Yes, and farmer carries, but sandbags up on my shoulders, anything. I don't recover well. So I'm enjoying going through this rucking process. But listening to that podcast, Peter Attia and Michael Easter both they you burn twice as many calories as a run or a walk. And it's, well, you burn twice as many calories as a walk, but it is less impactful than a run.
These are your joints.
Knees, less joints. So you get the calorie burn, same calorie burn as a run, twice as many calories as a walk with less impact on the body.
But you're also doing a little bit more resistance training.
That's
too, right? Because there's that deceleration aspect of the negative component when you're, hiking down the hill, which is a critical part.
He talks about that, the eccentric movement.
Exactly. Eccentric movement is everything.
Yeah.
Kind of look at our tempo front squats. We're working that eccentric component to build that up. And the other thing that I listened to that same podcast, and one of the things that kind of really popped in my brain was the postural thing. I was like, oh, okay, the ruck, I get it, weight vest. But the idea of having all the weight on your back and pulling your shoulders back into place reminded me of one of our members from a long time ago. He was having a little bit of a shoulder issue. Just he was an older guy and just always had kind of a nagging issue. And we scaled and modified and did everything we could to keep him going. And after his doctors, nothing else. Once he started going for hikes and putting his hiking camelback on, pulling his shoulder back into place, he's like, my shoulder pain's gone. So it's almost like it could be like almost somewhat of a corrective thing by reorganizing your shoulders when you're walking for an extended period of time.
That it kind of pisses me off. No, it does,
because it's so basic and simple.
Well,
and
yes, that, and like 15 minutes into a ruck, and I'm using 55. I probably have gone out too.
I was going to ask, what weight are you?
I'm using 55 pounds, which in
do you have a plate or are you just loading?
I'm using
plates?
both. So I there's a 30-pound plate.
Okay.
And I put that into the ruck envelope, which is nice. And then I have 20 pounds in a sandbag that I put in there as well. And you can take if you got a weight vest, take your weight vest and put it in there. And by the way, a rucksack is better than a weight vest. Weight vest is good, but a rucksack's better because of that positioning.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm pissed is because after 10, 15 minutes, that's where the ache starts.
Okay.
It's not the load. You guys, you'll notice when you guys ruck, the load itself, you put it on your shoulders and the bag's heavy and you put it on, you're like, holy shit, this is heavy. Then you stand and be like, oh, it's not that bad.
Once you get yourself in a good posture.
Once you get in a good posture, it's like, it's really just, it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
But what starts to hurt is your shoulders and back. And I know, and that's what pisses me off because I know why that is. Because they're tight. And I spend a lot of time with my shoulders up front.
All those neck
with a phone,
flexors.
with a computer, right? Relax up front and not in that good posture.
Just
position.
like any other human being in today's world, right?
Right.
Like we're all in this anterior dominant position, and it's like, here's this thing that's going to help pull us out.
Yeah, it pulls it out of it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I know that's why the ache comes.
Yeah.
And it's one of those mental things. You just got to push through it. But it is, I'm really enjoying it. It's, you got to suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going right now. I go anywhere from 2 to 3 miles, about 45 minutes to an hour. And if it gets too uncomfortable, you just take a break. Like you take a break for a minute or two, take the pack off, and it's like,
or take it off, go for a run, come back.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea though.
Yeah,
look for that. Look for that in our turkey ruck,
along with a few other things with this obstacle, with this item that we get to use.
What's nice is, again, with the rucksack, there is cool stuff that you can do. Yeah. And Michael Easter talked about that in an Instagram post. He said, look, he creates stuff on the fly. He rucked out into the desert 2 miles, took his rucksack off and put it in a bush, hit it, ran back to his destination, to a starting point, then ran back. So a total of a 4-mile run, put his rucksack back on, and then rucked back. So he got a 4-mile ruck and a 4-mile. And he goes, he literally made it up on the fly. He goes, I'll do this.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And it is.
I mean, you run some crazy ideas through your head when you're in the middle of this stuff too.
That's true too. You gotta be careful.
I did that once when I was training for an adventure race. It was like a bike row bike. It was actually like a kayak, mountain bike and a run. And I would ride my bike out to like Lime Ridge, park it behind a tree or something, and then sprint up the hill, come back. And that was one of those things, just totally on the fly. It's like, you know what? I need to try something a little bit different. It was, get a little burn.
That stuff is, again, that's why CrossFit's cool, because it gives you the confidence to be able to do those kinds of things.
Yeah. Adventurous, right?
Yeah. But what's awesome about rucking, and I'll leave you with, close it out with this unless you got anything else, is the core stability strength that gets built that you don't know is getting built. Like you don't necessarily feel it. You feel it. The two times I feel the rucksack, when you first take it off, you're like, oh, you realize, holy shit, that was a load on my shoulders.
It's like a whole rebound.
Oh my God. And then you feel great. Like, and then the next day you're like, oh, you feel it in your hips, in your back. And you feel the, not debilitating, just soreness from
everywhere.
Man, I was working.
Yeah.
Right. Because again, when you carry and you put the weight on, you're not gonna feel it that much. And Peter Attia or Michael Easter recommended, look, the max load should be your
body weight.
1/3 your body weight. That's the max load. He said that's most people can carry that comfortably.
Yeah.
And that's what they do in the military. They get them up to 1/3 the body weight.
Yeah.
But I would start out with 10, 20 pounds, those kinds of weights.
Build into it. I mean, just like anything else, don't just feel like you're going to go right to that 1 rep max, or just get a feel of what 10 pounds feels like.
Exactly right. But you'll enjoy it. And there's more to come as we get closer to the turkey ruck that we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Workouts this week. There's, we're doing tempo front squats again. The bench press and RDLs, those were cool last week. The one thing I wanted to ask you about though, on Tuesday we have a barbell complex deadlift. Well, it starts out with
the run. Yeah. So this is our skill session,
really cool, right?
This is our skills.
Yeah. Last week, what did we do? We rode.
We did 400, 450, 500 meters last week.
And then we went into a snatch.
Yeah. We went into a touch and go 3 rep max snatch.
Yeah. This week we're going to do 4x4, 400
every fourth minute.
So people are going to get after it.
They should be. Like, that's so. Just to kind of run through like our skill for this month real quick as a review. Our skill is essentially pacing and learning how to pace, right? Like what is an actual pace that is sustainable, and where is our capacity at? We're looking for averages, right? The fastest average versus like I can run the first one in a minute and then the next one's going to be 2 minutes. Like that's we want to try to stay like 115, like if you are pushing it. Here we in technical terms, I think we want the mean to be low. Yes.
I think the mean is the difference between the the fastest and the lowest.
We want to keep it as
tight as possible.
Tight as possible. As consistent as possible, right?
Right.
So if you run a 130, your target should be like a 130, maybe even like a 128, right? Can you squeeze a few more off? We don't want to be going up.
Yeah.
And the idea is we've got 400 meters run every 4th minute. So there's a lot of rest in between. So we're looking to push some hard intensity here.
Okay.
Then we're going to go from that directly into a 10-minute to build to a max of the deadlift, hang clean, jerk, touch and go clean and jerk. Now, the intention of this whole month's sessions is a skill is, we're working on that monostructural focus, building up some capacity there and learning where our capacity actually is. And then we're going with fatigue and stress into a barbell. Last week we did the snatch. This week we're doing a clean and jerk complex. The idea is to add a little bit more time and attention, right? So that's the theme of this month. The tempo squats, the RDLs, there's a lot of time and attention going on throughout this whole month.
Right.
And with these complexes, it's the time and attention with the increasing load, right? So we have 10 minutes to build to a 1 rep max of this. And the intention is to cycle it. So the faster you can move it, the less time and attention you have. But at the same time, we still need to maintain good quality mechanics, hit your standards, show full control. Don't just cycle through it to get through it quick. Hit those positions, hit your lifts, clean lockouts, and show control, right? Like virtuosity. We want to have control throughout the squat clean. When we go to the touch and go, we're trying to use our legs, not just hinge at the back. Right. So we want to use all the techniques. But at the same time, coming off that run is going to be different. So we're not going to be able to hit a true max effort. We're looking for like a perceived max effort, right? We're trying to find something that feels like, holy shit, that was heavy. I can't go any heavier than that. Otherwise, I will break down. That would be finding a max, right? If you start to break down, you've already maxed out.
Yesterday, we did the workout included a 200-meter run and then right into hang power snatches. It's actually opened up with hang power snatches.
Yeah.
Then it went to lunges and then
the run.
Yeah, then the run, 200-meter run, restart the round the next round. So the first round of hang snatches, it's a moderately heavy weight. For me, was 115. It's a set of 8. I can do that pretty comfortably in a Metcon. And so first round, great. Hang power snatches, 8 of them, got them. They all looked great. Lunges. Then I went for the run, and it's 200 meters, so you want to push it a little bit, right? That's essentially going to take the longest of all 3 movements in the workout. But as I came back in, then went to pick up the bar for the hang snatches. First one was pretty good. Then it just started to get ugly right away, and I realized, right? So it's that the hamstrings are smoked, posterior chain, into the lower backs kind of smoked from the run, and you discount it. You don't feel it happening when you're doing it. And that's going to be the same, I think, with this 400-meter run.
Yes.
You're not going to feel the hamstrings getting tired and your lower back getting tired. You'll feel it, though, when you
go to pick up a bar.
When you go to pick up the bar.
And that's one of the things I put in what we have in the notes is, after you finish that run, we do need to kind of keep moving.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of those things. Your legs are going to seize up, all that. Like it's going to, you're going to hurt. It's going to feel like you just did a set of 5 on the back squat.
Right.
So what we need to keep in mind is we need to keep that blood pumping so we can flush out all that byproduct that's left in the muscle tissue from the run. So that way we can transition into the clean and the barbell smooth. So I always recommend let's get the bar moving. Don't spend too much time, but don't feel like you have to load up the weight. Let's just move through some range of motion. Let's just keep the body moving so we can get that blood pumping through those legs again. And that will be one of those things that help you get ready for the lift.
Yeah, I think your first one, everyone's first one should be really conservative.
Yep.
Start to feel it out and build up slowly. How many attempts do you think people should do or will do
on the barbell
in 10 minutes?
I would say anywhere between 3 to 4 actual working attempts, like of the full complex.
Okay.
If you time it out like 1 every 2 to 3 minutes, maybe take the first couple minutes just to kind of move through a few reps under some load, just to see how that's going to feel. Maybe don't do the full complex. But when we go from the hang clean and the clean and jerk, those are intended to be power or squat. So it really kind of depends on how you are feeling individually, as far as how much added range of motion do you want to add to it after those runs, right?
Yep. Then Sunday this week, or I guess Sunday of next week, we have 15-minute AMRAP 400-meter run, 10 strict wall balls, and 8 strict chin-ups. I just wanted to talk about the strict wall balls for a second. Why not a dumbbell press or a strict press? What's with the strict wall balls?
So let's think of,
and is it the regular targets? Is it 10?
It's a standard target.
Okay, standard target.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's not an easy target.
Or no.
So let's consider the different, the 100 fitness and 100 words.
Right.
Throwing is one of those things, right? And with wall balls, we do throw. It's more of a squat to a throw. So we're using a lot more legs. This is going to be more of like a strict press, but you're still throwing the weight. So you're still trying to generate power and force versus just strength.
Okay.
Right. So like a press, if you're doing a strict press, that's more of a strength aspect. Right. But when you think about the explosiveness and having to go core through extremities to throw, you're bracing your core, you're generating a lot more power to generate, because you're only using one body part, right? You're only throwing with your shoulders. It's not like you get to dip drive like a push press. So with this particular workout, you're running hard. You're going to come back instead of doing wall balls, as we know that it's, that's going to tax out our heart rate as well. This is going to be one of those things where it's like a limiting factor. It might force you to slow down a little bit.
Right.
Same thing with the strict chin-ups, right?
Yeah.
Working with that pronated grip. So if in the grand scheme of things, you'll find your heart rate coming down because it's going to be more muscular fatigue.
Yes.
So then you can go back on that run hard again.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be breaking those up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
as most people should.
Yeah.
Right. And it comes back down to like placement and body position, right?
Yeah.
How is the functioning of that range of motion?
Here's a question that I get asked in class a lot on something like this, and I'll ask you, because my answer is usually wrong.
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what
should I'm doing this workout, Jamie. I can get 10 strict wall balls. I can do 8 strict chin-ups. Should I try and do 10 strict wall balls every time, or should I break it up to try and get overall more rounds?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, you got to think of how much time you have,
right?
How fast are you running,
right?
And at the same time, are you struggling to hit that mark?
Yes.
By 8 and 9?
Yes.
Okay, then break.
Okay.
It'd be like a 5 and 5, right?
Okay.
Break it up.
So
and
start early. Break earlier. Okay.
When you think of like a push-up, right? If you do push-ups to near failure, you get to a point where you just have to let your shoulders recover, right? This is going to be kind of that same thing. It's that muscular fatigue, muscular stamina that's going to want to give out. And anytime we were doing like a strict press, like we had a strict press workout last week. I think it was last week or the week before. We had basically, I was telling everybody, break before you have to.
Okay.
Right. Because if you wait till you have to break, now you're playing catch up on letting your body recover faster versus taking that short break with a short rest. You can take a break that's got a long rest. You want to try to condense it. So by stopping before you have to means that you still got some juice in the tank. So you're not completely depleting everything. Right.
Okay. All right. That's good. So good week of programming. We'll look forward to people's feedback in class. One of the things I put in my email, and it is the stuff that I read, the topics that I read, and that actually all the stuff that I read throughout the week helps shape what gets put in this email. Stuff like I talked to, and a lot of people send me stuff, which is really cool. That now that I have this email, people send me stuff. Hey, you should read this, or you should see this. And I try to get to everything. I've got a couple books sitting on my shelf that I need to read that people have sent me. But I like going through like cool stuff that I think our community be interested in, and then cool stuff that I read or see. Just real quick on cool things, by the way, since you're a mountain biker.
The tailgate.
The tailgate rack.
So cool.
So I put that in. Then I put that into this week. So my Instagram feed, because of if you look at one mountain biking picture or one picture,
everything,
then everybody starts feeding you away. Oh, this guy must be interested in mountain biking. Let's send him all the shit.
Well, you did the flow trail recently, so maybe it also knows your location.
Well, that's creepy. If we're having a conversation and our phones just happen to be near us, and then all of a sudden you get ads. Yeah, I think that stuff's happening. But anyway, this one actually, if you're a mountain biker and you use your pickup truck to haul your truck, look at this. Look at the link. It's called the Latchet Rack.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's Latchet is, they spell it Latchit. It's one word, Latchet Rack. Look it up. It is brilliant. I love simple engineering like this. It literally, you put the tailgate down on your truck, and the rack itself just hooks to the
actual linkage.
Yeah, the actual linkage for the tailgate.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And it flips open. But what it does is, everyone has seen the the pads that go over
Mhm.
the edge of the tailgate. People hang their mountain bikes off the tailgates, which I think is awesome. By the
Yeah,
way.
that's
cool.
what I typically ride with. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. Well, this one, what it is essentially, it extends your tailgate because it
Mhm.
creates a rack at the end of your tailgate with your tailgate down. And then you put the bike on there and it's got straps that hold it in. But what it gives you now,
A whole lot more
a
space.
whole lot more space in your bed. So if
Yeah.
you want to put any gear, a cooler,
Yeah.
that stuff, you could put that in there. And
I love that for like a camping trip, especially when you have a
Right.
couple kids and it's
Yeah.
like your truck is just loaded down. That gives you a good space back.
Oh yeah, super simple, and it's a reasonable price. It's literally just a simple that anybody can do.
Yeah.
It's lightweight, just click, flip. The only word of caution I'll give you, having done this, when you put your tailgate down, don't forget that your tailgate's down when you're backing up. Now, tailgate cameras kind of help because now also
it'll tell you you're looking at the ground.
Well, yeah, it'll tell you you're looking at the ground. That'll remind you, because I have put my tailgate down and then forgot that my tailgate's down and backed it into a spot. And I'm like, oh, I can go a little further. Bam! I'm like, wait a minute, that didn't make sense. Why would I hit? Because I knew that I had more space, and then I realized what it was. It was my tailgate down. And then you get a nice U shape to your. In my case, it was a tree
tailgate.
Yeah, then you're getting a new tailgate. Which, by the way, is actually kind of affordable because it's the tailgate actually comes off.
Thankfully, it's not like a bumper or something like that.
But God, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's a cool rack. So check that out.
Yeah.
I put a link to the Peter Attia podcast with Michael Easter. What's cool about that podcast? I love Peter Attia. Following Peter Attia, he's a doctor, but he's a fitness guy. He's a diet guy, a great nutrition guy. And an MD.
I found him when he was on the CrossFit podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Originally, that was my first exposure to him.
Because he likes the carnivore. He leans into carnivore.
Yeah.
But anyway, he interviews Michael Easter, the guy that wrote Comfort Crisis, and so it's basically like a 1 hour summary of the Comfort Crisis. It's really good. And then they spend some time talking about the Ruck and the value of rucking. So that's a cool podcast. So it's Peter Attia, and I would follow that guy, by the way, on Instagram. He's got good shit. And then the only other thing is there's I posted an interview with Don Fall that he did I think he did it about 2 weeks ago, the interview, and it's with Front Office Sports, which is a very small podcast outfit. They've got, I don't know, it looks like there's only like less than 1,000 views of the actual podcast itself. But it's a really good
only 1,000?
Yeah, because no one knows about it, right? No one knows about it. And it didn't really get promoted within the CrossFit world, although I saw recently it'll
probably start coming up.
Yeah, in a morning chalk up email, I think they highlighted it. But what's good is he's much further along in his conversations with affiliates and his staff, and he's organized. It's a really good interview.
Yeah.
He's clearly well prepared in terms of what he wants to communicate to the community. If you're interested, look, at the end of the day, the CEO of CrossFit doesn't matter to the community. It matters a little to the affiliate owners, but not really that much. What it matters most to is the brand and the methodology. And as long as that's being protected and promoted, then affiliate owners are happy, and affiliate owners are happy. And if affiliate owners are happy, then
CrossFit community's happy.
The community's happy. But if you do want to get to know the CEO of CrossFit, Don Fall, he's in that, and it's an excellent conversation. I'll leave you. I'll give a
listen to it. Maybe we can discuss next week a little bit.
Yeah, we can. I'll leave you with relative to that. He talks. He says his focus is really about elevating the CrossFit brand through the amazing stories and transformations that are happening at the affiliate level.
That's it.
It's really that's awesome.
That's it.
So it's what we've been clamoring for, really.
Isn't that how the CrossFit Games was built?
It was. That's exactly right. Right. I'm a obviously a proponent of supporting the affiliates, but and recognizing what the CrossFit affiliates do for CrossFit in general.
Yeah.
We are the indoctrination centers for CrossFit.
The front line.
For the CrossFit L1, for the training certifications, for the CrossFit Games, and not only for the athletes of the games who come through the affiliates, but also for the fans. Like we create all of that.
Yep.
Right. And so a healthy affiliate community, I think only serves to promote CrossFit and encourage the growth of CrossFit. So Don Fall's good dude. By the way, side note, and I told you this, and I'm looking for feedback. I get a chance to meet him on the 21st of October. I got invited to come up and sit with him for probably, I think I'll probably get 45 minutes to an hour with him to have a conversation with him. I'm excited and honored for the opportunity, but if anybody has anything that they think I should, talk to him about.
Yeah, that's a good point. At the same time, anybody that's watching this right now or even later, like, please share feedback, share content, and if you got questions you want Craig to ask the CEO, this is a good location to do it.
If there's something you want to know that you might have something that I'm not thinking about, put it in the comments. It's
always good to have different perspectives.
Oh, man,
right? I mean,
very,
it just
very
changes a lot of different things.
Absolutely. The last thing I'll leave you with, I always put stuff in there now because I'm big on walking steps. There's a couple of good articles related to that, but the big one that I've seen, there was a study that was from I think it was the BMJ, the British Medical Journal, on the impact of late eating late at night. And so then a bunch of different outlets picked it up. All the outlets picked it up, and then they published the findings in their own different format. So I attached that, but a critical component to weight loss, and I've experienced this myself, and it's hard to do, is stop eating late. It doesn't mean eat earlier in the day necessarily, because I actually like to fast until about 9 or 10 a.m.
To have a cutoff time.
But have a cutoff time, and it's hard.
Yeah.
You sit down, especially when you build a habit, if you got Netflix going, or last night was Games of Thrones.
Habits is the number one thing.
Well, that's right.
If it's one of those things where, hey, I'm going to stop eating after 7, don't do your normal routine.
Yes, that's right.
Try something different. Yeah. Go for a walk, right?
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I mean, just start a project. Like, do something that's not just falling back into the previous habit.
That's right.
And then it'll be a little bit easier.
They talk about that in the Atomic Habits. That the habits build upon one another.
Yep.
Like, and so if you
that pretty much speaks for itself.
Dangerously, but that's one I would start with. Like, if you're gonna, I want to lose a little bit of weight, don't even change your food, the food that you intake. Like, don't try and
start with little steps.
Yeah, start little steps. Just stop eating after 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
try and make it 7 o'clock. Yvonne and I struggled with it for a while. And although she's much better, like, if she decides something, boom, it happens. Like,
and she's very routine driven.
Oh yeah, very routine driven. And so, but as soon as I did that, man, like, I went from, that helped me go from like 215 down to 200. I was 15 pounds, and that was one of the biggest reasons why. So not eating late at night.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you'll sleep better, you'll live longer, you'll lose weight, all of that good stuff.
You might be a little uncomfortable.
Oh, you'll be uncomfortable.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, you'll be uncomfortable for probably about 2 weeks. And then,
I was just talking about, like, just that little bit of time. Like, man, I want something.
No, I mean,
that craving hits.
Yeah,
like,
that
just
craving
be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but
I like what you said. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
Change the routine. Drink some water. Have mineral water. Yeah. Change the routine. But that discomfort will wane completely in 2 weeks. You won't even notice. Then all of a sudden it's a new habit.
New habit, new routine.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right on. I think that's it for this podcast. We're going to post it right now. It's live on PRsAllDay.
PRsAllDay YouTube.
It's in the Diablo community or the Diablo member community.
Yeah. Diablo member
PR's Facebook. We're also going to put it to Diablo's YouTube, and we'll put it to the Diablo Facebook page later on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Cheers.